Hey everyone, John here from All Miniatures Great and Small, and today we're going to be taking a look at a new release for Star Wars Legion. This time it's the Rebel Commandos unit expansion. So I've been looking forward to this. For Star Wars Legion fans, there's been a little bit of a dry spell. We haven't had many releases. I think we had the pack that had like the mission objectives in it. But really, that's the most recent one, so it's kind of nice to actually get some models that we can add to our army. Now, the first releases I saw, and I was just in the game store and saw the Rebel Commandos and the Han Solo expansion, which I'll do an unboxing in a separate video, had been released. Nothing for the Empire yet, but I imagine if these are out, the Empire is not far behind. So, with that said, Rebel Commandos, this box was $25 retail, $24.95. You might be able to find it a little bit cheaper online, but it contains 7 models. So let's take a look. We've got a Rebel in Endor gear, and on the back side we have, looks like 7 unique sculpts, 7 plastic miniatures, 2 unit cards, 5 upgrade cards, 17 assorted tokens, and 1 rule sheet. Alright, so let's go ahead and find out what we get for our box. Standard packaging. Make sure nothing else is in there. Alright, we'll start with the boring stuff, and that is the instruction sheet. Sorry about the glare, but it has a component list and it tells you how to glue these guys together, which is very cool. And then some new rules on the back. What do we get here? We've got Arm X charge type, detonate X charge type, heavy weapons team, high velocity, low profile, and scout X. So we'll take a little bit closer look at those rules in a little bit. All right. So we've got 7 baggies with 7 troops. The stands, nothing new here, so we can put those to the side. And then the cards and assorted doodads you need. So let's take a look at the miniatures first, because if you're like me, this is why we're here. So just like the releases we've had before, these are pretty straightforward, not too many pieces. This one looks like it's got maybe 5 pieces to it. The arms are a single piece with the gun, the body, the head, and a little sash cape rag thing. The nice thing about these kits are that for the most part you can push them together. I obviously glue them. You should recommend to glue them, but you can see, oh, this is just 4 pieces. Let's see if we can get in there. Show off some of that detail. So I do know that some folks had issues with the initial release, mold lines and stuff like that. I know someone commented just recently on one of my older videos. So I'm curious if they haven't improved the models. So this looks really clean. I mean, I think I see a mold line in there across those pockets. But very clean. So, like I said, these these holes are so big that push fitting the model works quite well. Now, I like this continues the trend of it's mostly humans, but I think we've got a couple of aliens in here that are not the same species that we saw in the original box set. So there you go. Very cool. I kind of wish that they had Rebel Commandos in the Fleet Trooper uniform. I like the Fleet Trooper uniform better than the this uniform, but beggars can't be choosers. So you see, and then with push fitting, obviously there's gaps, but you do this correctly, sand it down, slot it in place, glue it. Those are pretty much going to go away. You may need a little green putty, but maybe not. So there you go. I'm going to go ahead and open up some of the other ones just to see some of the variation. Okay, so I just slapped a couple of guys together. It looks like there are two different aliens in the set. This guy with a really cool sniper rifle is obviously, if he gets in focus, a Mon Calamari. So the Mon Calamari is your sniper. Now that barrel, it's soft plastic. You can see there. So a little hot water, probably straighten that right out. And then there was another cool alien. I really like this in kind of a cloak, kind of a mushy face alien. So there you go, 7 unique sculpts. That's a look at a couple of them. Not any posability unless you are moderate to advanced modeler. You have to cut and green stuff arms to reposition them and legs and so on. You get 7 unique sculpts, but if you want to run more than one of these, which I don't know if it's viable or not, you're going to have identical sculpts. But same thing with all the other troop sets we've had so far out of this game, so that is nothing new. Alright, next up, let's take a look at the cards. Okay, the cards. Now I'm in a little bit better place to talk about these cards. The first round of Star Wars Legion stuff, we really hadn't played that many games before we did unboxings, but and now we've got quite a few games under our belts, and probably can talk a little bit better about what we're seeing here. But again, I'm no tournament gamer, so I'm looking at it from the casual, weekend warrior type view. We've got 2 token sheets here with some new stuff. I'm assuming those are mines or charges of some kind, thermal charges. Alright, so we've got upgrade cards and unit cards. So I kind of like how they're going with this. They've got 2 different units you can make out of this, this set. You've got a Rebel Commando and a Rebel Commando strike team. Basically, we'll look at the other side real quick. Basically, one of them is a 2-man team, while the other is a more traditional sized team. Oops. So here, for example, you start with 1 figure and you can add a figure, whereas over here you start with 4 figures and you can add a figure. So in theory, you could run both of these units in your army at the same time because you've got 7 figures. So that's pretty cool. So what do they have? Obviously nothing too inventive here. They have white armor. They have blaster rifles, which are similar to what we're getting. Again, the white die for defense. Their surge converts to a hit, and their defensive surge turns into a shield, so it gives them a little bit extra buff there. And then the cards we got a DH-447 Sniper, High Velocity, and Pierce 1. High Velocity means you can't spend a dodge token, which is kind of cool. Proton Charge Saboteur, Emergency Stims, Duck and Cover, and HQ Uplink. So basically the sniper is going to be adding some long range firepower. You get a black and a white die out of that, but with Pierce and High Velocity where they can't use dodge, that is pretty cool. The Proton Charge, add 1 Proton Charge Saboteur Mini, which I think looks like this guy, if I'm not mistaken. Arm the Proton Charge, detonate, proton charge blast, impact 1. It's 1 red and 2 white die. So this is a new mechanic, and we'll talk about this a little bit more down the road as we get these guys together and start playing some games with them. But it looks like they have the ability to play with explosive charges, which is cool. Emergency stims during an attack. When you would suffer wounds, prevent up to 2 wounds, place an equal number of wound tokens on this card instead. If you do, at the end of your next activation, discard each token on this card and suffer wounds equal to the number of tokens discarded. So it's a way, it sounds like on first glance, a way to keep your guys in the fight for a while anyway before they die. So maybe if a unit gets blasted early in the round, you can keep them alive, and then they shoot, and then at the end of the activation they die. Duck and cover. When defending against ranged attack during the applied dodge and cover step, you may gain 1 suppression token. And then HQ uplink is something I think everyone's familiar with. During the issue step, you can issue an order to yourself. The actual units themselves, you've got low profile. When defending, if you have light cover, improve your cover by 1. So if they're in cover, basically it's like always heavy cover. Scout 2, after you deploy, you may perform a speed 2 move so you can better position your commandos. And so Sharpshooter 1, reduce the defender's cover by 1. So that's good. Rebel Commandos stacking the sniper. You're starting to see some synergy. And over here in the strike team, you've got the heavy weapon team rule. You must equip a, I think that's the sniper upgrade card. The mini added by that card is your unit leader, so your snipers, your low profile Scout 2 and Sharpshooter 1 are all the same. So there you go. That's a really quick look at the new Rebel Commando box from FFG for Star Wars Legion. Looking forward to getting these on the board. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick unboxing and first look at the strike team. Hope this was helpful for you. As always, we appreciate you watching. Please check us out on Facebook, All Miniatures Great and Small. You can see what we're up to there when we're not filming or what we're working on for an upcoming project. And we always appreciate comments here, a like and subscribe. As always, thanks for watching and keep on wargaming.